Good evening everyone and welcome to TGP2 live coverage of the final two rounds of this incredible season, and what a season it's been. We've got two races to go. We're here in Imola for the penultimate round before we head to Abu Dhabi for the traditional finale of the season, and what a season. 6 drivers in contention for this World Championship with 2 races to go, a record in TGP2. We've seen 5 in TGP1 in the past, but 6 drivers with a chance of glory tonight. It's been as unpredictable as ever in the past in TGP2, and tonight will be no exception. I'm Ginger Addy, and I'm delighted to be joined by Dan the Man for this final night of action, and we have got crazy conditions, wet conditions here at Imola for the penultimate round. Dan, what more could you ask for?
Oh, it's perfect, isn't it? It's the perfect setting for it. Final couple of races of the season, and we have rain in this session, this qualifying session. Just watching Hickman come round the final corner here, see if he's going to go quickest. He is going to go quickest on a 26.5. Now, we've had wet races this season in Silverstone and Spa, and he struggled quite a bit in the wet, so I'm quite surprised to see him set the early pace at the moment, set the pole lap.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right, Dan, because this is a curveball for these drivers. There's no doubt about that, because, let's be honest, most of the time when they practice, league racers, they practice in dry conditions because, as you touched on, only a handful of the races are actually wet. So, you don't do anywhere near as much time in the wet conditions as you would in the dry. So this is really going to be interesting for the likes of Theo Hickman, who, as you say, on form, has not been great in the wet conditions. So it's going to be very interesting to see who can come out on top, who can perform best out of all these 6 championship contenders with this curveball of the wet conditions. So let's see how they get on. We have got 10.5 minutes to go in qualifying, and it is Theo Hickman that is quickest of all. He's out there on the wet tyres. Magic Poop Cannon is out there on the wet tyres. He's going through the final sector as we speak, but I can tell you he has invalidated his lap and he's coming into the pit lane. But Dom Smith is out there on intermediate tyres. We'll have a look at the championship standings in a minute, but before we do, let's follow Dom Smith around this magnificent Imola circuit, Dan. And I mean, it's brilliant to be back here in Formula 1. It took COVID to bring us back, but it's an old school circuit, barriers never far away, a real challenge. Overtaking can be tough, but it is a fantastic racetrack, isn't it?
It is indeed. I absolutely love this circuit, as Dom completely skips the variant, the older chicane there, but yeah, it's just one of the very, very best, and as you say, it did take COVID for us to be back here, but I'm glad we are. It is the 36 different track we've raced in TGP, as Chris Johnson on the Inters goes quickest.
Well, there you go then. Chris Johnson laying down a marker on the intermediate tower. Well, I've actually got him showing up as on the wets, Dan, so I'm not too sure if there's been a little glitch for me, but I've got
on board as well.
Yeah,
like
I've got. Yeah.
You can see.
Yeah, I can see wets, but I have to agree with you though. The track,
that's a new one.
The track does look like it's ready for inters, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was done on the intermediate tyre. So it might not be worth trusting the game for the tyre compounds, folks. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. But something else we need to keep an eye on, and I think we might be keeping an eye on it for much of the night, Dan, and that is the championship standings. And well, as I've always said, and I say it every season in TGP2, consistency is the key to glory in this championship, and it's never been truer than this year. Dom Smith leads the championship with 221 points, and he has not yet won a Grand Prix. That is absolutely astonishing stuff. He sits on 221. He's got a 5-point cushion over Jacko on 216, who's only won 2 himself. Then back on 211, 10 points off the pace, is Chris Johnson, the man that currently is leading this qualifying session. He's 3rd in the standings. Theo Hickman's on 207 and 4th. He's 14 points off the pace. Magic Poop Cannon on 198 is 5th in the championship, and he's 23 off the pace, and just keeping himself alive in the championship with that victory last time out is Blair Grills on 177. So as we approach this part of the season, Dan, there's 6 in it, realistically 5 if even that. Who's your money on from here?
Well, I think last week I said Jacko, didn't I? And I think he might just have what it takes to do it at the very end. As long as he doesn't make obviously a mistake. I mean, I think you mentioned at the end of last week, he has cashed out of so many races from good positions, strong positions, to the lead of Silverstone, and crashed out while he was in the podium positions in Monza. But I think ultimately he might have what it takes to do it. But I mean, if Dom can just win a race, then perhaps he will be the one to take it. But it would be quite amazing if Dom was to win the championship without winning a single race. I'm pretty sure it's the first time that would have ever happened in TGP history.
Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible to do that. I mean, that would just be astonishing if anything like that could happen. But here is Magic Poop Cannon then, taking us for a lap around this Imola circuit, and what a circuit it is as he heads through that first chicane. And Dan, I really do love circuits with all these brilliant names around the racetrack and so many corners. A bit of tradition to this circuit, and it really is an absolute cracker through the first sector already, and he is purple through that first sector is Magic Poop Cannon, and looking very good out there on the racetrack at the minute as he heads up towards Peraltella and flies through there now, 7th gear, dropping down to 5th as he just keeps it within track limits. So easy to make a mistake and then bounces down into Aqua Minerale. You've really got to push into the first part. Almost reminds you of the Degnas, doesn't it, at Suzuka, Dan? Similar in approach, isn't it?
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah, I see what you mean, but he comes into the Variante Alta and he's still purple in the second sector as well, so this is looking very, very good for Poop Cannon. He's just got to get the braking right at the first Ravazza. Downhill braking can be quite tricky, especially in these wet conditions. Misses the apex there, but it's not that bad. It's okay. Bazza goes quickest, and Shep has gone into second place, turning up tonight for, I think, the first time this season. So the track's obviously improving, and Poop Cannon is set to 24.2.
Yeah, he's absolutely smashed them aside, has Magic Poop Cannon. 1 minute 24.2, still in this championship hunt.
Here comes Theo.
And let's have a look if we can pick up Theo Hickman then out there on the racetrack, up to the line. Where can he go on his latest run? He goes second quickest, and he's only half a tenth away from Magic Poop Cannon. If you remember back to last week in Jeddah, we were expecting the field to be quite far apart. They were far from it. It was very, very close at the front, wasn't it?
It was, so the track is definitely drying out and the field is getting closer, and here comes Dom around the final corner now. Pretty sure Dom's going to improve as well, but only goes 5th on a 25.9, so he's still got some time to find. I think it's quite clear now that Inters are absolutely the tyre to be on.
Yep, absolutely. The tyre to be on, no doubt about it. Bazza is out there again and going quickly, finding 4/10. He was the first man to cross the line on fresh intermediate tyres, so he will be the first man back round again, looking very, very quick as he heads down the hill towards Ravazza 1, and Ravazza number 2 moves to the right-hand side of the track to open up that first Ravazza. Easy does it from Bazza, the Welshman, round the final corner now, heads for the line. What kind of time is he looking at? He might pick up a slight toe from the car in front, take the shortest route to the line as he comes up to it now and goes third quickest, some 8/10 off the pace of Magic Poop Cannon, but looking pretty strong as Wheelnut goes fourth. What are you seeing?
Poop Cannon drops it the final corner and he decides to pit. He nearly hit the wall, but he got away with it. Hickman is, meanwhile, he's improving. He's coming around the final couple of corners now, and I think he's about to go quicker as long as he doesn't do a Poop Can near this final corner, final Ravazza, which he does not. So this is surely going to be pole for the time being. It is 29.3.
Yeah, first man into the 1 minute 23 is Theo Hickman then, the youngster, showing what he's capable of. And I believe Jack Hickman, did he win the TGP1 title last night? So are they looking for a double, the Hickmans?
Yeah, they are indeed. Here comes Dom round the final corner as well now. I think is this going to be a big improvement for him.
And he
only
goes
7/10 again. He's only gone 5th.
Only 5th quickest for Dom Smith. So the championship leader, the man that's not won a race this season, under pressure. Yes, championship leader, despite not having won a race all season. We've said it so many times over the course of the season. Consistency is key in this championship in TGP2, and Dom has proven that. Not winning a race, but just keeping it clean, keeping it calm, and doing the job. And he finds himself 5th on the road at the minute, but leading that championship. Where will he end up at the close of play today? Jacko's out there. He's gone 6th quickest, a 1 minute 25.4. So Dom and Jacko, the two at the front of the championship, not setting the timing screens alight, are they?
No, you're absolutely right. They're definitely not. Dom's going very slowly. I don't know if he's possibly waiting until the very last sort of moments so that he can be one of the last drivers across the line as the track begins to dry out more and more. Hickman's invalidated this lap, so he'll have to go again. He was 2/10 up, But I can't see how long we've got. Oh, we've got 1 minute 40 seconds left in the session then, so really you're only going to get 2 more laps in at this stage, as Wheelnut's been wheeled back in the garage. You won't be coming back out, as just seeing if anybody is actually on a proper push lap at the moment. Jacko looks like he's on a lap.
Well, we'll pick up Jacko in a moment. Chris Johnson's finally went back out there for another lap. He's only just at the start of the lap, so I suppose we will pick up Jacko, who's found 2,000s on his previous best through that first sector as he now climbs up the hill down towards Aqua Minerale. Oh, sorry, he's gone through Aqua Minerale, and now he's heading into the chicane. Where was it looking for Jacko? So tentative, so tricky on these curbs around this circuit. So easy to put a wheel on a curb and lose the rear end, Dan. I've tried this in the dry and it's tricky. I can't imagine how hard it is in the wet.
Yeah, it is very difficult, the exit of that chicane, even in dry conditions. We had the wet quality as well in TGP1, but it wasn't as wet as this one, I don't think. As here comes Jacko then, out of the final corner. Just going to run to the line now, takes the shortest possible route, and goes into 3rd place. So good, decent lap, I suppose, for Jacko.
Yeah, Jacko beginning to threaten then towards the front, half a second away still though from what Theo's doing, as Chris Johnson is finding a second on his previous best, and he's gone purple through the middle sector. So Chris Johnson then beginning to rise to the occasion, down in 8th position at the minute in this qualifying session. Needs a big showing if he wants to compete for the championship all the way to the final race. Through the first Ravazzi he goes, slipping and sliding the rear end through the corner, using all the curb and a little bit too much, goes wide. That will compromise his run to the line. Chris Johnson crosses the line now and goes 4th quickest, but there's time in that for Chris Johnson. He had a horrible final corner.
He did indeed, because the negatives to that as well is that it sort of ruins the start of your next lap as well, doesn't it? As Baz has been disqualified for going the wrong way, so that's going to put him right to the very back of the field. Not sure how that's happened. He had spun, so it looks like he possibly been disqualified because of that.
And here goes Jacko then, he's flying out there at the minute as he makes his way through the chicane and heads down now on the run towards the two Ravazzas, and he's finding time. So is Jacko about to make a move up the order, currently sitting in 3rd position, is looking to try and put it on pole and heap all the pressure on Dom Smith, who leads this championship. Pretty clean, pretty tidy from Jacko as he now rounds that final corner in the Alfa Romeo. Can he take pole position here? And he can't, he can only go 2nd. Theo Hickman stays on top. Chris Johnson's out there and he's bailed out of his lap. Magic Poop Cannon meanwhile is also invalidated.
Yeah, Chris Johnson crashed, so Poop Cannon's invalidated. So we've got Hickman on a lap right now. He's improving. Dom's also improving a little bit behind him. And I think Blair Grills is going to be the first championship contender to cross the line here. And then it's going to be Hickman, and then it's going to be Dom. So Blair Grills is out the final corner now. Yeah,
Blair Grills, who's barely still in this fight, really needs pole position. Can he get it? No, he can't. He can go 5th quickest. So now we go to Theo Hickman, who's already on pole. 2 of his rivals have failed to beat him. 3, in fact. Theo Hickman, can he stretch his advantage even further? He can! He smashed him with a 23.5. It's an incredible lap. Dom Smith only goes 5th with a 25 flat, and Theo Hickman has blown them all away. Chris Johnson's bailed out. Theo Hickman's on pole, Dan.
Wow, so much for Hickman doesn't have any wet weather pace. That is a brilliant lap. Come out of nowhere. Hickman is on pole then at just the time when he needs to up his wet weather pace. He does it. And it's going to be a dry race, by the way, and it's probably going to be a dry Abu Dhabi as well. So probably the final wet run in this season. And he has put the big lap in when it really matters. Pole by almost half a second.
There it is then. Theo Hickman in the Williams, needs the pole, gets the pole, and by a big margin as well. What a story that is for the youngster. Theo Hickman on pole for Williams. Joining him in the front row is Jacko, who's 2nd in the championship and could be trying to overtake Dom this evening. So he is 2nd. Magic Poop Cannon is 3rd, 7.5 tenths shy, quite a distance. Chris Johnson in 4th, 1.4 off the pace of Theo Hickman. That just shows you how good the lap was. Dom Smith is 5th on a 25 flat as well. Blair Grill 6th, Wheelnut 7th, Shep is 8th, Indecisive is 9th, Red Bull Kim at home, on home soil for Ferrari, gets inside the top 10. Then it's Stereogram, Kia, Wet Lemon, Cena and Baza, who was disqualified from this session. But in typical style, the top 6 in the championship that are still in this fight are the top 6 places in the grid.
Yeah, that is brilliant, isn't it? Just how we wanted it. But as they're discussing in the chat, of course, Theo is only 13, which makes me feel very old, because when TGP started, I think he would have only been 2 or 3.
Yeah, I just wonder.
10 years ago.
I mean, I don't think they were racing at Imola previously when Theo Hickman was born. So there you go.
Yeah.
His first sight of Formula One at Imola was in 2020. So there you go. That gives you an idea of just how young Theo Hickman is. For us old school, Dan, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that, and I'm only 25 years old, but hey-ho.
Yeah, same.
That's how it goes. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a cracking race here at Imola. The sun is now shining on the Sunday. The Brawleys are away, Dan, and it should be an exciting race as the drivers get ready to line up on the grid. The 5 red lights are coming on. Is this going to be Dom's day, or is Theo Hickman going to join the party at the front of the championship? We'll find out as the lights go out, and it looks like a pretty bad start. He moves across immediately because Jacko got away well. His second phase wasn't so great though, and Magic Pip Cannon moves up alongside and goes alongside. Can he get through on Jacko? Theo Hickman continues to lead. All sorts of chaos behind. There looked like some wing damage there, but Theo Hickman is long gone. He's left him for dead. Pip Cannon second, third is Jacko, and we've got a Mercedes off in the background. I think that's indecisive.
It was, yeah. It's all got very close for Jacko and Pupcan, and it's allowed Hickman to just pull away 2.5 seconds at the first sector. What a start by him. Jacko down to third then. I'm surprised he didn't lose more positions. He had a really poor start. But Dom is in fourth. Chris Johnson fifth then. So decent start for Pupcan as well to get into second.
Yeah, fantastic stuff for Magic Pip Cannon, moving up into second position in this Grand Prix. Here is Chris Johnson. It's all action behind us. Cena has gone ahead of Blair Girls. Cena was at the back of the grid, for goodness sake. What a start from the McLaren man. As Shep goes wide in, Wet Lemons with a zesty move goes past him. And now Wet Lemons is having a go at Blair Girls into the chicane of all places. They're side by side, and Blair Girls just about holds on. And they're 3 wide on the exit. Absolutely incredible stuff as they all race down towards the first Ravazza. Who's going to break latest? Will it be Wet Lemons? Will it be Blair Girls? Wet Lemons is clear, and up into 7th place, Blair Girls 8th, and M. Shep in 9th, and all over the back of him, Blair Girls looking like falling out of this championship fight, and very quickly, he's actually got wing damage, and he's coming into the pits, as Dom Smith now pulls alongside one of his rivals in the championship, his main rival in the championship, and he's passed him. He moves ahead of Jacko, who breaks very, very late for turn 1, and nearly runs into the back of the Aston Martin.
I've seen us in 5th now. Cena's made up 9 positions at the start. Wet Lemons' teammates made up 6. So unbelievable start by the McLarens. Cena's got a little bit of experience around here. I think he done a few laps last week in TGP1. As Wet Lemons through in 6th now. Yeah,
he's got ahead of Chris Johnson as well, so a disaster for 2 of the championship contenders. Blair Grill's pretty much out of the fight already here, so we're already looking like dropping to 5 contenders on the second lap of this Grand Prix for this championship. Chris Johnson down in 7th and needs something major, and he needs it now. Dom Smith having a fine afternoon in 3rd compared to Jacko, as Cena now makes another move. He's absolutely flying as the McLaren driver. He barges through, gets it done. It was brave stuff from him, and he's found a way through. He's showing absolutely no regard for a championship contender, brushes him aside, and now Wet Lemons is going to get involved too. Round the outside into the first Ravazza he tries, but that was not going to happen. The McLarens are absolutely flying.
It's unbelievable stuff from Cena. It's absolutely incredible, as Wet Lemons are right on the back of Jacko as well, and surely Wet Lemons is going to get this done. The RS isn't enabled just yet for this lap, but he's going to play side by side with Jacko into the first corner. Surely he's going to make it stick.
He does make it stick. Great stuff from Wet Lemons, and he just used the toe from his teammate in front to just breeze alongside the Alfa Romeo, and this is great news for Dom Smith if he can stay where he is. He's now put 2 cars between he and his nearest championship rival, Jacko. Huge result this, if it carries on this way.
Absolutely, and just, of course, because it was a wet quality, it's free tyre choice, don't forget, and Poop Cannon is on the mediums. Poop Cannon is on the mediums, he's in 2nd place, so maybe that's going to help him in the latter half of this race.
Magic Poop Cannon then, going for the long strategy, the long game on the medium tyre.
Oh, the McLarens have touched!
Unbelievable, the 2 McLarens have touched, and Cena is round. In those 10 places he gained at the start, he's just about lost every single one of them, and drops all the way down to 11th position. All that work for absolutely nothing. Lemons and Cena get together, and I've got to say, there could be a bitter taste about that one, Dan.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Well, Lemons did just tap the back of Cena going into Aquamirali, and Cena spun around, so that's a shame. I don't think Wet Lemons actually got a penalty for it though, so He's the front guy in the McLaren now, in 4th place. I don't think Cena will be too happy.
And now we've got another move going down the start-finish straight. Chris Johnson losing yet more ground, does he? His M-ship's all over the back of him. He can't quite find a way through, though, on the brakes into turn 1. Will the Alpha Tauri brake latest? Of course he will. Barges his way alongside, and Johnson slides and loses out to Baza now, who comes steaming in. And off the track goes Chris Johnson. He's being bullied out of the championship hunt as we have a safety car, presumably because Kia has crashed. Yes, he has crashed, and what a place to crash.
Yeah, so he is out of the race then. Where's he? I'm not sure, I didn't see it. Where's he gone off?
He's crashed. He's crashed in the exit of turn 6, just before Tosa, so he's out of the Grand Prix. Kia out, safety car deployed, a lifeline for Blair Grills, and wow, what a race this is turning into already.
Crazy stuff, but so surely soft runners are all going to pit.
Disaster for Pup Cannon.
Pup Cannon is on the mediums, isn't he? Yeah, so can he go to the softs for the next, 12 laps? I mean, surely he's going to pit. He can't, he might as well. I think the whole field's probably going to pit here, to be honest. I wonder if he's going to get caught in traffic. Baza might have to queue. Baza's going to have to do a bit of queuing in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
But I'll be amazed if anybody stays out here.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes as Red Bull Kim picks up a 10-second penalty, which is a shame for him, running up in 9th place at Ferrari's home race as Magic Pup Cannon comes in on the medium tyre.
And he got a penalty for speeding.
Oh, he's had a disaster. Dom Smith, the championship leader, 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane, and with a safety car, it bunches the field up. It's a double whammy for Dom Smith. It's a disaster for Dom Smith.
Absolute nightmare, yeah. So we're just seeing if anybody's going to get held up in the pit lane. I think on the unsafe pit release thing is on, so it doesn't happen as much these days, as Baza has stayed out. Baza decides to stay out then to avoid having to queue behind Jacko.
Yeah, and, well, Andy was on the medium, so 2 reasons why. Magic Pup Cannon going for the opposite and going for softs, but he wasn't going to have to queue, I suppose. That's the upside for him. So Dom Smith, pressure on, leading a championship, picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Something so trivial, Dan, but when you're under pressure, these things can happen to you. You can doubt yourself, you can make the mistake, make the misjudgment, and that's exactly what Smith has done. Yeah,
and I mean, it's so easy to do as well, and especially at a track where, you know, we haven't actually had a race before in TGP, so sometimes you just show up in pit lane entry first time and you don't realise, I did it yesterday in Saudi Arabia, in fact, you just don't notice where the line is, and suddenly, before you know it, you've got that 5-second penalty, and I suppose he could pit again this lap if he wanted to get rid of it. We will put him at the very back of the field.
Is that a worthwhile move? I mean, would you risk contact with other drivers back there who've got nothing to lose? Do you just go and try and stretch with the 5 seconds out against potentially slower cars behind? It's a tough one for Dom Smith to weigh up, but he's going to have to weigh it up. So yeah, let's have a look here. Sorry, Dan. Baza and Stereogram have both stayed out. Stereogram, an interesting one, but I suppose he didn't want to queue behind Theo. Do you think he might come in this lap?
Possibly. I think it would probably be the sensible thing to do. Let's see if Baza comes in as well. As you say, he is on the medium, so that was an extra incentive for him to stay out, and he does indeed stay out again. And yeah, Stereogram is coming in. Yeah, Stereogram is going to come in. Yeah, so Stereogram down the pit lane, he will go and he will rejoin in front of Indecisive, but at the back of the snake, which is currently going to be 12 cars long, with Blair Grills at the tail of it. But that's great news for Blair Grills. Still pretty unlikely, though, that he's going to get a good result to keep him in the championship hunt, because he's at the back of the snake, but at least he's got a fighting chance, Dan. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And just very quickly, let's just quickly mention as well the Constructors Championship. There's only 7 points separating Alpine and Alfa Romeo. So Alpine had a bit of a nightmare race so far, and it is the 2 Alfa Romeos out ahead at the moment, although of course Baza does still have to stop. Alfa Romeo 7 points behind Alpine, so Jacko, if he can finish high up, it's going to be quite close between those guys as well, going into the final race of the season in that crucial battle for the Constructors. But certainly in the Drivers' Championship, Hickman, who is 14 points back at this stage, he had a 4-second lead before that safety car came out, and if he can just manage this restart well and sort of manage to pull a gap away from Pukan, who's going to be on those soft tyres, he's looking pretty steady, I think, to win this race. Yeah, he's looking very strong here today. And is there anyone? Would it now be
is it time for you, Dan, to maybe change your favourite for the championship? I mean, if Theo, at the minute, is Theo Hickman a favourite? Are the bookies odds shortening there?
I think they probably are, aren't they? But, actually just thinking about it just now, seeing Bazza still not pitting, and of course he is Jacko's teammate, I wonder if we might see a bit of games going on here. Maybe if they might try and hold, Bazza might drive a little bit slow, or at least just try and hold Hickman up a little bit to close up the field for the likes of Poop Cannon and Dom, and, well, of course, primarily Jacko, who is his teammate, to maybe get involved in the action. Jacko down in 6th place right now, of course he's still going to have to pass Wet Lemons as well, who's not even in the championship hunt. So maybe that might be something happening.
It might well be as we get going once again at the end of lap 6, start of lap 7. Bazza across the line then. Is he going to be the rear gunner for his teammate and keep Jacko within fighting range of the likes of Theo Hickman, Magic Poop Cannon and Dom Smith as they all funnel across the start-finish line to start lap number 7, and Magic Poop Cannon's a little bit wide, and Dom Smith's already climbing over the back of that Mercedes car. Is he going to be close enough for a move into Villeneuve? I don't think he will be, and he survives for another day, does Magic Poop Cannon.
Is the race back underway? That was looked like a bit of a late call.
Yeah, well, it still says safety car at the top corner, but the safety car's in the pits, so I presume we're back underway. It certainly looks like it.
Well, I mean, they're definitely racing. There we go. I think we are back underway. Yeah, we are back underway. The safety car came in literally last. The announcement came up at the very end, didn't it?
Yeah, the announcement didn't really come up, I don't think, and then he just drove into the pit lane, and well, as soon as I seen it drop in, I took that as go, and it is go. And I'm glad the drivers agreed with that, otherwise we could have been quite the shunt, as Chris Johnson has gone up a few places. Shep is facing backwards at the bottom of Aqua Minerale, the second part of it, and he's now at the back of the field in 14th place. As Wet Lemons, by the way, is on all over the back of Dom Smith. He's going to try and go round the outside into the Vatsa 1. That'd be a brave move. He can't do it there. Can he now set it up, though, for a move down the straight? Dom Smith lets him go. He lets him go. Well then, is this part of Mr. Consistent Strategy? Let Wet Lemons go and let him get in an incident with someone further up the road. Interesting.
Looks like, yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? Poop Cannon can't close in on Hickman on this lap, then down the main straight, but he is still within half a second. Bass is 1.2 seconds out in front at the moment. Jacko just can't keep up with the pace with the guys towards the front. I think Dom slowed down there, didn't he? Obviously to let Wet Lemons through, but it was like 2 seconds before Dom slowed down to the car ahead. So Jacko's struggling to keep up with these guys at the front. Not good for his championship hopes.
Not good at all, especially with Dom Smith in front of him in this championship battle, and especially with Theo Hickman. I've got another safety car. M-Shep is out of the race, and he is crashed in between Tamburello and Villeneuve, so he's out of the race as well. So
that was a strange instant then how that's happened. So
and that saved Bazza's bacon.
Massively, yeah. Surely now this will be the lap where he pits. Surely he'll pit, and he'll be very quick on those softs for the second half of the race, you would imagine. People can probably be quite happy there as well, because it's a couple of laps now done under safety car speed on his soft tyres.
Well, the big question here is, if he doesn't pit, we all know exactly what his plan is.
Yeah, I think it's quite obvious.
Yeah, he's coming in. And Bazza bails out on those medium tyres into the pit lane. That frees up Theo Hickman to move into the lead of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix here at Imola, the penultimate round of this TGP2 season, a season that swung one way then the other from start to now, and it will all the way to the finish, I can assure you, as Bazza rejoins. Dom Smith has came in and served that penalty. Well then, was that the right decision or the wrong one? I suppose we'll find out at the finish.
Well, considering he's put a fresh set of soft tyres on, I think that's probably the right decision. That's probably what I would have done. With a second safety car opportunity, another chance, and being on soft tyres for the rest of the race, I probably would have done that as well. So Dom's got rid of that penalty then. He's going to be in 11th place, but he will be on the soft tyres coming through the field, you would imagine, at the end of this race. Bazza also on a fresh set of softs now, of course. I suppose the one possible thing that would maybe make me think twice about it would be the fact that this is traditionally a difficult track to overtake, and you only really have the one super opportunity down the start finish straight to Tamburello, really, don't you? But possibly Dom just wanted to get rid of that penalty. Blair Girl's also pitted again, so he's also on a fresh set of soft tyres, as Bazza also has a 3-second penalty for corner cutting.
Yeah, so Bazza picking up a penalty, not ideal for him at all. But that's an interesting play from Dom Smith. with 7 laps to go, and not all of those will be under safety car, so he is going to have to work hard. And as you say, Dan, turn 1, the main opportunity, but you would feel with that tyre advantage it might be possible, and the pace advantage over some of the slower guys, there might be a good chance to make some moves elsewhere, won't there?
Possibly. I mean, we've seen a few moves at the chicane, haven't we, in this race from Cena at the Variante Alta, so maybe Dom, if he's feeling super brave, might decide to try and go for one there as well. But, well, I think we can safely say that as we come to the final race of the season, Dom probably isn't going to win this, so there's going to be another race that Dom has not won this season, and if he does win the championship, it's again, he would have to win the final race to have even just won any race in this season, which is just crazy, really. Well,
while we're under safety car, I think now's a good opportunity to remind everyone who may have just tuned in what the current situation is in the World Championship battle. Dom Smith is leading the way for the Aston Martin team without winning a race on 221 points. He's got a 5-point cushion going into this over Jacko in the Alfa Romeo on 216. On 211 and 10 points back is Chris Johnson in the Alpine. Theo Hickman, who currently leads this race, is 14 points off the lead of the championship, but he knows that 2 race victories will hand him the title no matter what anyone else does. And at the minute, one of them is going to do the business for him. And of course, remember, he would only draw level with Dom Smith if he finished second in both races, but Dom hasn't won a race, so on count back, Theo Hickman would be champion. Magic Poop Cannon, an outside bet on 198 points, 23 points off the lead, but he's not doing his chances any harm here, is he? He finds himself second in the race and on better tyres, faster tyres than Theo Hickman. A win would really help him. Then in 6th it's Blair Grills on 177, a long way off and an outside bet for the championship, and given he's 12th, it's hard to say that he's still in it, Dan.
Yeah, I think it's looking like it's probably all over now for Blair Grills. Says a driver championship, he's just got to fight to keep hold of the constructors lead along with Chris Johnson, but if Bazza is going to be coming through on those new soft tyres, although saying that Blair Grills is also on new softs, so those two in the fight for the constructors, they'll be charging through the field, you would imagine, in the latter stages of this race, with Dom of course in the middle of them fighting for the championship. And unless we get another very, very, very late call with the safety car, I think it's going to start one more lap, I think.
Yeah, well, you never know on F1 2021. We'll see what happens, but the safety car continues for another lap, and I think another lap under safety car would suit those drivers on the medium compound as they go round the final corner, and the safety car is coming in. It is coming in, okay. But Mainlander's got a mind of his own, and Theo Hickman will lead them across the line, and we will get going again. And because he's held them right up, we're almost going to have a proper race start here. And look at Jackal, he's hungry for some of it. He's got past Wet Lemons already, and he's attacking Magic Pip Cannon into turn 1, key for the championship, and Wet Lemons right round the outside. That was astonishing, and he loses out. And he's lost all of the place. He's back again. What's he doing?
I think he might have had to give them back. I mean, he was very late on the brakes, super late on the brakes. Did he possibly go off the track and he's had to give some of the positions back, I wonder?
I wonder if the safety car is playing tricks here and it's giving him an illegal overtake. And now the safety car says coming in. And now it says coming in. Oh, this is this is a complete mess. This is a complete mess. So the safety car is out, but it's not. Right, okay.
Well,
so basically, we'll treat this as a virtual safety car then, because...
Well, I think the race is back underway, although a 5-second penalty for collision within the safety, that would sort of indicate the safety car is still out, because it usually gives those penalties when the safety car is still out.
I think the safety car is in the pits, but it's still out, but you can go whatever speed you want. I think you can't overtake, basically.
Well, I don't know what to say, really, to be honest, but I wonder if esports have this problem.
Well, hopefully when they cross the line, it will say it's gone, and we can get going properly again. Let's see, Theo Hickman crosses the line, and it still says safety car.
And it hasn't actually moved to lap 12 of the race, either.
Oh,
there we go. Now it's in. Now it's lap 12.
And we now do have a race on our hands, folks. Apologies for that. Formula 1 game never lets us down, does it, Dan? Always drama, on the track, off the track, in the game. Just typical. But anyway, we are back underway, which is good news. Theo Hickman is now the race leader again, and Magic Poop Cannon is second, from Jacko in third. Chris Johnson is fourth, and Wet Lemons is all over him, attacking him like crazy. Dom Smith going backwards, or is he going backwards, as Baza is in front of him at the minute. Dom Smith knows he needs to make up some ground here. If he doesn't, he's going to surrender his championship lead as they go funneling through. Tosa, and then onwards down the hill they go into Aquamina Rally, and Dom Smith stays where he is. Wet Lemons goes wide, very wide off the track. Baza steams past him and steams past Chris Johnson and is up to 4th place. Huge moves from Baza.
Yeah, and that's crucial for the constructors. But look at Poop Cannon right on Theo now.
Oh, is he? Yes, he is right on Theo. Good spot, Dan. It's all happening at the front then. Theo Hickman against Magic Poop Cannon. Theo Hickman knows if he wants to keep this championship in his hands, he needs to win both races to be sure of it. But Magic Poop Cannon's got other ideas. He's 23 points off the title lead, and he needs to start making inroads now with Dom down in 6th place. Magic Poop Cannon, the man from Estonia, gaining and gaining on Theo Hickman. Down into turn 1, he's not close enough, and he remains in 2nd place, but he's all over the back of the Williams driver, Dan.
He is indeed. It's getting close, isn't it? No moves further back either, but incredible stuff by Baz. Cena's crashed out at, I think he might have retired in the pit lane actually, so Cena's out the race. Well, this is just incredible stuff by Baz at the restart, making up so many positions on those fresh soft tyres. Big as well for the constructors, with the 2 Alfa Romeos now ahead of both of the Alpine cars. As Poop Cannon 4-10 drives, flat out through, going through bit of terror, going everything for it. This is fantastic stuff. And he's going to have DRS next time.
6 drivers in the championship fight. 2 of them are in the lead of this Grand Prix at the minute. 1 and 2. They're 3rd and 4th in the championship. They're looking like making inroads on the guys in 1st and 2nd in the championship, which would make this championship closer than ever before. Magic Poop Cannon attacking Theo Hickman, getting closer and closer. He's using the ARS. He's going to go down the inside into the Vatsa 1. He's going to take the lead into the Vatsa 1. And the Mercedes driver is through. Toto Wolff is not banging his fist. He's cheering, jumping for joy. The Mercedes man takes the lead.
Yeah, but that's given Theo DRS.
And now Theo's on the attack with the DRS. He's catching and catching. Please don't do a Russell Bottas. They're in the right cars for it, but he's not close enough for a move. And Poop Cannon holds on. What a race we have here at Imola.
That was bold stuff from Poop Cannon to have the confidence that he would stay ahead, going for it into the phase of Vatsa. The DRS zone is just the DRS detection is on the entry to that corner, and Poop Cannon was ahead, and he just went for it.
And he's went for it, and he's made it work. Fortune favours the brave on this occasion. Magic Poop Cannon has made it work. He now leads this race, and he needs to make use of those soft tyres while he can, because pretty soon they'll be past their sell-by date, Dan, won't they? The mediums will come back into their own.
Absolutely, yes. So Hickling, if he can just stay within DRS for the rest of this lap, he might get there. But just watching Jacko as well, because he's got Baza behind him, so it's a bit awkward because Baza's on the much faster tyres right now. And is he going to let him through? I think Jacko might be slowing down to let him through.
Oh, it's incredible. Synchronised switching of the positions. Why would you do that in a championship fight? Jacko has just handed Baza the position, and he no longer has a rear gunner to Dom Smith. That looks like an own goal from Alfa Romeo, if you ask me. That was a crazy... In fact, is he going to just give him the DRS and tow him round? But surely the best thing to do would have just been to stay in front. And now Dom Smith senses the opportunity. What a mistake from the Alfa Romeo team. And Aston Martin are smiling here. Otmar Safner looking on with expectation as they fly past the pit wall. And Dom Smith flies past and surely moves through into 4th place. What were Alfa Romeo thinking?
Wow, that didn't work, did it? That did not work. And I think you're right, yeah, he must have done that. So Jacko could have the DRS for that lap, but Dom had enough pace and gets through, and Jacko, I mean, they've snookered themselves, Alfa Romeo.
They sure have, and we now have a disastrous situation where the green ball is in between 2 white balls. That's not at all what Alfa Romeo were looking for, and it's trouble for them. Meanwhile, at the front, Theo Hickman is not staying within 1 second. He's trying his darn best, but he can't quite stay within range.
Baza is really pushing, wow, and Dom is gaining, but Baza just almost losing it twice there for Aquamina Rally, just keeping hold of the car, and Dom is going to be right on Baza, I think, down this final lap for the DRS. He might be able to snatch a podium here. He was saving a penalty a few laps ago.
Yeah, he was indeed, not anymore. He's now chasing down a podium. Baza, of course, has a penalty himself, so the podium should be in the hands of Dom Smith, regardless of what happens. And this is a disaster for Theo Hickman, who had a 14-point lead, and 14-point deficit to Dom Smith. He was going to cut it to 7 and keep the championship within his hands. He's only going to take 3 out of Dom Smith, and the gap will be 11, so that's not ideal for him. It's not ideal for Magic Poop Cannon either. He'll only take 10 out of Dom Smith as he tries to go for the move. Baza covers the inside. Dom Smith trying everything he can, but at the minute it's staying as they were. Will Baza just park it in the middle of the road and try and give Jacko, his teammate, a chance to get back through? Surely he's got to do that and play the team game. And he is doing that. Look how close Jacko is.
He is, he's right there, isn't he? And as you say, yes, Baz is just going to have to just take it very easy for the rest of the race. Possibly, I wonder maybe if they might be looking at the chicane for a possible move to Jacko on Dom.
A possible switcheroo down at Alfa Romeo. I mean, what do you do? It's a complete disaster, really. I mean, I'm trying to think. If Baza let them both through, would that help Jacko? No, it wouldn't, because it would be 3 points. No, it wouldn't work, because it would be a 3-point game for Dom instead of a 2-point game. So right now, Dom only gets
the penalty anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, yeah, good point. Very good point. So that makes it really strange why they swapped them round. It makes it even more ridiculous, doesn't it? But here comes Magic Poop Cannon. He knew he needed to win this afternoon to give himself any opportunity. The man who's fourth in the championship is going to cut the gap from 23 down to 13. He wins here at Imola for Mercedes. Theo Hickman is second. It looked like it would have been his race for so long. Baza third. He'll drop to fourth. He'll drop to fifth, because Dom Smith is third. Jacko is fourth. Baza is fifth. Wheelnut sixth, and Chris Johnson is seventh. Blair Grylls only recovered to 8th, and both Alpines are at crisis point in the championship fight.
Incredible race, absolutely brilliant race. Chris Johnson had a 5-second penalty across the line for ignoring a yellow flag. So I wonder if that might get removed perhaps, and he might end up finishing 6th place there on the road. I think it was very tight between him and Daniel Peel Wheelnut across the line, but I don't know if that penalty is going to get removed for Chris Johnson. But yeah, strange decision by Alfa Romeo there. The plan didn't work to give him the DRS and to hope to stay ahead, and in the end it's allowed Dom to get a podium.
It has indeed. Dom Smith gets the podium and stays alive in the championship. That did not look likely at one stage in this race. So does Dom Smith still lead this championship? I presume he does. We're going to have to do some serious sums.
Yeah, I'm going to work it out right now.
Well, Dom Smith going for that accolade of winning a championship without winning a race in a 22 race season. It's unheard of ever in Formula 1. But look at that. There it is. Magic Poop Cannon for Mercedes gets the job done. The safety car helped him a treat to get within range of Theo Hickman on the faster tyre. He made this move and never looked back, and he takes a vital victory to stay in the championship hunt. Magic Poop Cannon wins then, Theo Hickman second, and the championship leader showing his consistency yet again, Dom Smith in third and on the podium, and minimises the amount the top two take out of him in the championship, which is so crucial, Dan. But anyway,
so important.
Let's have a look at the final results from that Grand Prix here at Imola. The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Magic Poop Cannon from Estonia has won this Grand Prix and cuts the gap in the championship. Theo Hickman comes home second for Williams, and a race he will feel he should have won if it wasn't for the safety cars. Dom Smith, what a recovery to third after a time penalty and dropping down through the field. Then Jacko in fourth. Didn't have the pace today, it has to be said. Baza comes home fifth with that penalty. Wheelnut comes home sixth for the other Mercedes. Chris Johnson seventh, and Blair Grylls eighth. Is it time up in the championship battle for those guys down at Alpine? It's looking like it for Blair Grylls. Indecisive was ninth with Wet Lemons in 10th. What an eventful day for that McLaren driver. Red Bull Kim comes home 11th in front of the adoring Ferrari fans. Stereogram was 12th, Cena was 13th, and M-Ship finished up in 14th. What an incredible race at Imola. We had a wet qualifying session followed up by a dramatic dry race around one of the all-time classics on the Formula 1 calendar. What a race it was, and we now head to the desert night of Abu Dhabi, the glitz, the glamour that you would usually see at Monaco, the Middle Eastern Monaco they call it. And what a stunning setting for the final race of TGP2's closest ever championship fight. It promises to be an absolute thriller, Dan, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Just trying to work out this championship as quickly as I possibly can. Might take me a while.
Well, I'll let you carry on, Dan. Don't worry, I'll let you carry on with that at the minute. And we'll just recap what was a thrilling race at Imola. It was all about Theo Hickman in qualifying. It really was. It was a stunning lap from the Williams man, on pole by half a second. A man that we touted at the start of qualifying as not being a form driver when it comes to the wet conditions. He didn't perform well at the wet Grand Prix earlier on in the season, but he did in qualifying, stuck it on pole by half a second. And of course the drivers had free tyre choice from then on in. Magic Poop Cannon at the start of the race chose the medium tyre, Theo Hickman chose the softs. Theo Hickman disappeared on the first lap while the rest were busy scratching and bumping with one another. The championship contenders behind, who all qualified, incidentally, in the top 6 places, just showing you how strong they have been all season long, those 6 drivers. So they all qualify in the top 6. Theo Hickman disappeared up the road, and then the safety car was his undoing, as that gave the second safety car, it was his undoing really, that gave the opportunity for Magic Poop Cannon to be right on his tail on the better tyre after his pit stop, to come sailing past with a really impressive move into the first Ravazza. We were all expecting, and Dan called it in commentary, we were expecting him to save the RS and go for the move down into the second corner at Tamburello, but no, he decided not to do that. He decided to go for it at Ravazza, held him off, and then just disappeared up the road to coast to what was a brilliant victory, and to keep himself right in the hunt for this championship battle. He might still need a miracle, because I'm sure he will still need a really bad afternoon for Dom Smith, who just doesn't do bad afternoons. He's always very, very consistent as Dom Smith. Let's see how it gets on, but that win for Magic Poop Cannon was indeed his 3rd win of the season, and he'll be absolutely delighted with that, Dan, won't he?
He will indeed, yes. So here are the standings at this stage then, and that podium really has helped Dom, I have to say. We have Dom on 236 points going into this final round, and then we have Jacko on 228. So it's an 8-point gap that Dom has in the lead, and we have Hickman on 225, Poop Cannon on 223, and Chris Johnson on 220. So 8 points separates Jacko and Chris from 2nd to 5th, but then it's 8 points to Dom in the championship lead.
So Dom on 236, Jacko on 228.
Yeah.
And then what, sorry?
And then we have Hickman on 225.
Hickman 225.
Yeah, Theo on 225, and then Poop Cannon on 223, and Chris Johnson on 220.
Wow. That is incredible. 8-point gap for Dom Smith over Jacko, and then an 8-point gap between the other 4 drivers. So that means Blair Grills is out of it, of course, as we anticipated.
Yeah.
He is gone.
Blair Grills is out of it.
He is definitely out of the championship picture. So Dom on 236, Chris on 220, 16 points cover the top 5 in the championship. That is incredible. And 8 cover 2nd to 5th. But that podium for Dom is absolutely enormous, that result. Imagine he never got that podium. We would have had something quite incredible. We could potentially have had whoever wins the race wins the championship, Dan.
Yeah, and I think if Dom didn't save that penalty, that 5-second penalty in the pit lane, it was quite close, wasn't it? The fields were quite bunched up still, even at the end. So I think he would have lost a few positions. So it was probably the right decision for him to make that late call for the pit stop under the second safety car.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He did make the right decision. We called it at the time. Would it be the right one? Would it not be? We knew we'd find out at the end of the Grand Prix. And, well, we did find out, and it was the right thing for him. Incredible how this has panned out. And Dom Smith is now in a position, Dan, where if he finishes 2nd in this Grand Prix, he's guaranteed the title, which means he can definitely 100% win this World Championship by not winning a race.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll be leading on the final lap and just slow down and give the win to whoever's in 2nd place, because just to get that insane record, really. I mean, we've had 12 winners this season in 21 races, and the guy leading the championship by 8 points hasn't won one of them.
I think it's fair to say, Dan, that could be a record that would never ever be toppled.
I highly doubt it.
I mean, if he did win the championship by finishing 2nd, I'm pretty confident in all the years of TGP history that go from this point onwards, we will not see a driver win a championship without winning a race. Because the way Formula 1's going as well, Dan, you shouldn't be winning a championship when there's 22 races. Fair enough if there's 12 or 15, but 22 races over that period of time, and not win a race and win a championship with a 7-point deficit between 1st and 2nd in points. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it?
It is. It's unbelievable, as you say, especially as we get increasingly more races added to the calendar. And I think also having more races to the calendar it's going to mean in the future, both in TGP and in real life and in all sorts of leagues that do every race, the less likely you're going to have title deciders with their seasons going all the way to the final race. And it looks like we might see it in real life. We're definitely seeing it here in TGP2. And, you know, you never really know the next time that's going to happen, so you have to sort of savour it.
Well, we've got a long time to go in qualifying, Dan, so I think it's a topic worth delving into. What would you say in Formula One the ideal number of races is? Because I think we're just being very fortunate this year that these two drivers and teams in real life Formula One are oh so close in their respective teams and their respective performance as drivers that it's going to go this far. But I think when you look back at examples like 2012, where we had an incredible season, an incredible championship battle, I don't think we would have got the finale that it deserved if we had 22 races, because I think Red Bull and Vettel would have eventually got away, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think for me it's an ideal amount, probably, well, at least a maximum 20, probably around 16, 18. 17 ultimately would be for me. Because I think then you get to a stage where if you have one nearly every weekend, then it's like becomes less of an event to have a Grand Prix, etc. But well, not everybody thinks that way, of course, and I know a lot of people just, you know, it's F1 and it's a Grand Prix, so let's just take it. And of course, you have the distance sprint races these days as well. Looks like we're going to get more of them in the future. So I think it devalues the product slightly. But,
yeah, I tend to agree.
You know, I'm sure it certainly brings in the dollars.
Yeah, you know what they say, cash is king. Cash is king, Dan. That's what they say, as Dom Smith is out there at the minute and on a lap, but he's actually weaving a little bit from left to right.
Jacko spun!
Uh-oh, Jacko round.
Big spin for Jacko at turn 3, but he's got away with it. No, he's got away with it on all that runoff, of course, but it's very easy to lose it at that corner. I think I've done it 3 times yesterday in TGP1, and Jacko has done it here. It is very difficult tracks to get right, and the curbs are so tough around here as well.
Yep, they are indeed, as Will Nut goes quickest on a 37.1. Theo Hickman then out there, pole sitter last time out. Let's go with this brilliant camera shot right from the side of the helmet. You can see all the action as we cut away back to the broadcast camera. What kind of lap time are we going to see from him as he makes his way up towards the final corner? Red Bull came in front of him, will not affect this lap. It's going to be easy pole position, 36.3, and it's immediately dismissed by Wet Lemons on a 1:36.1. So the lap time's tumbling very quickly here as Poop Cannon slots into third place on a 36.6, Dan.
Just want to quickly mention the constructors as well between Alpine and Alfa Romeo. So Alpine entered this tonight with a 7-point advantage, but after that race in Imola, it's now, you know, got Alpine on 404 points and Alfa Romeo on 403. So that's also gone right down to the wire. Wow,
that's incredible. It really is. It's so close. So Alpine then under pressure as they round the final corner. Chris Johnson goes 4th quickest with a 36.6. So Alfa Romeo versus Alpine looks like it's going to go all the way as well. So it's so much to play for in this championship fight then, as Wet Lemons is out there and going quickly again. So how will he get on?
Yes.
DRS open? ERS? No, I think he's backed out, has he? He's not got the DRS open, so I presume he's bailed out of this one. Let's see what his build sector's like. Yeah, 1.9 down. He's not going quickly. So who else we got out there? Jacko starting a flying lap then in the Alfa Romeo after that big spin at turn 3 last time. It looks like he's got away with it this time, Dan.
Definitely he has got away with it this time, yeah, and he says it's gone purple, but I'm not entirely sure how correct that is in the early stages of this session. But is he going to get a bit of a tow here off this McLaren? No, McLaren's going quite slow.
No, he will get a tow.
I think he is actually, yeah, he's going to get a fairly decent tow, isn't he?
It's a brilliant tow.
The car was to get off the racing line. There we go, as we lose a lane at the end of the straight, and Cena moves out the way, and Jacko did get in quite a lovely tow, didn't he, in the end?
Well, if there was question marks over whether he's purple in Sector 1, I don't think there'll be any question marks in Sector 2 if it comes up purple as we go through to that point of the circuit now. Let's take a look to the right hand side. Does it go purple? Well, it actually doesn't show me any colour at all, so take that with a pinch of salt as Jacko comes round into this final sector of the lap. And let's be honest, Dan, it's not the favourite of many, this part of the circuit, is it?
No, I mean, maybe it'll be a bit better in a couple of weeks, of course, in the newly designed, where you've opened up the corners a little bit more. But there is one specific corner I do want to point out here as we're watching the end of Jacko's lap. This corner here, this right-hander, this penultimate corner, that outside curb, that sausage curb, is I mean, I don't know if he just put a load of oil on it before the race or something, because it is so slippery. And I think already had indecisive cash out the session there in this quali. And if you hit that curb, you are going to spin and hit the wall.
Yeah, well, that's just shows you how difficult it can be, how treacherous it is out there on some of the curbs. So let's have a look at that Alpine battle then with Alfa Romeo. 1 point in it. The Alpine of Chris Johnson 5th, but it's the two Alfa Romeos backing him up in 6th and 7th, with Blair Grills down in 13th. So at the minute, if that was how they finished in the race, Alfa Romeo would steal it, wouldn't they?
He would indeed, yeah, he would take it at the final race of the season. But then Blair Grills has got a lap in. Yeah, I think he's just starting one right now, as we have the top 5 all in the pit lane at the moment. Jacko is out on track, but he's just set a lap, probably going to pick this lap. So I think it's only really Blair Grills who is properly on a lap right now.
Red Bull Kim coming to the end of a lap, and the minute he's coming into the pit lane though, sporting the number 70. Now there's a bit of history behind this number 70. He initially had the 69 number, but when I was racing in TGP1, he offered me the 69, and I took it. I thanked Kim very much for it, and he then moved on to the 70 number. So that's the story behind that one. So thanks, Red Bull Kim, for allowing me to use the number 70, and thanks for offering me it as well. That was very good of him. As Blair Grills is out there right now, 17.6 through the first sector. Not the quickest we've seen, but it's still pretty solid from Blair Grills, as Alpine now will be his focus. It will be all about the constructors now. He's out of the drivers' fight, which I suppose is kind of a boost for Alpine now. He was never really in with a shout of winning the drivers' championship, was he really, Dan? So I suppose him being out of it now is probably a good news for the team. They can focus more on what needs to be won and what was realistically in their sights.
Yeah, I suppose so. And then it's Chris, who's in 5th in the championship, 16 points behind Dom, so probably going to be difficult for him as well. But yeah, they can concentrate on getting the constructors.
Well, let's see if Blair Grills can nail the final part of the lap then, and see if he can get himself up towards the front. It showed up purple in the middle sector. It's looked like a pretty tidy lap, to be fair. So Blair Grills then up to the final corner. Is he going to be threatening the front few rows here? He moves up to 6th position alongside his Alpine teammate, and in that constructors battle, that is brilliant, isn't it? It really is perfect for the neutral. Alpine 5th and 6th, Alpha 7th and 8th, 1 point between them in the championship, and Blair Grills is round. That's in the wall, and that could be the end of his session. He just stays in the session, and I've got no idea what that suspension is made out of, but I want to know, because that my car's just been written off, and I want some of that suspension. Wow.
Unbelievable that did not destroy the car. I can't believe that. I really thought that was him out of session there, but wow, well, he's got away with it. Lucky.
Oh, he's very lucky. Very, very lucky as Chris Johnson starts another flying lap. Who else we got out there? Theo Hickman has also started one too, so might be worth keeping an eye on him. He is, of course, in with a shout at the championship. And look at this. He's getting a tow off a championship rival, Magic Poop Cannon. And Magic Poop Cannon is getting out of the way. What was Poop Cannon doing? He was sleeping there on the racing line. And Theo Hickman goes through. And that will be a couple of attempts at least from a championship rival. Total Wolf is now banging his fists on the desk. And there's another toe from Red Bull Kim. So what's this looking like for the middle sector? He's 2 tenths up as Theo Hickman, and at the minute is projected for pole position. What were they thinking down at Mercedes? This is a disaster. Theo Hickman now senses the opportunity. Is he going for back-to-back poles then, as he races down towards the Yas Hotel?
Here he comes then. Well, Emmons, who is on pole, he's also a 10.5 up at the second sector, so he's also on an improvement right now. Buchanan invalidated the lap, and I think he was just too late to realise that he has Hickman behind him, flying through the penultimate corner, nice through there. Final corner, take that curve, runs to the line. This will surely be pole, and it is indeed a 135.9. Wet Lemons is invalidated.
Yeah, Wet Lemons invalidated, so 35.9, looking good for Theo Hickman. Wheelnut is just a fraction down on his previous best through the first sector. So Chris Johnson, let's go to him then. Good spot, Dan. Round the final corner comes Chris Johnson. Is it an improvement? It sure is an improvement. Onto the front row, and that is great news for Alpine. And remember, Chris Johnson still has one hand in the championship fight as well. And that is a very strong showing with Dom down in 8th.
Yeah, he's just finished the lap, Dom. Only gone from 9th to 8th, so not good early pace for Dom in this session. I say early pace, we've only got 6 minutes to go. So we're in the latter stages now of this session. Don't probably get one more run in, and he spun on his in-lap, I assume, there.
Pressure.
Not looking good.
Pressure for Dom Smith. He does have an 8-point buffer, but my goodness, he's in trouble if it's one of the guys in second and third in the championship that goes on to win the race. And Theo Hickman is looking very good at the minute. At the up in pole position, Magic Poop Cannon is finding time on his previous best. He's 1.5 tenths up, and he's invalidated it over the triple chicane and ruined his effort at going for pole position. So he is under pressure, as is Jacko, as is Dom. Jacko, Dom's biggest rival, also under pressure.
Yeah, it is that triple chicane, which is going to be very easy to invalidate the corners, of course. There's not actually going to exist those corners in a few weeks from now, but they do very much exist in this title decider, and it can ruin your lap if you cut the corner through there. But so as you say, yeah, it's looking like it's going to be Hickman and Chris Johnson at the moment, who are looking like the closest challengers in terms of fighting at the front of the field. Dom's really got to get a lap in. Baz is out the session. Baz has lost it at that curve I was talking about, the sausage curve.
So Baza, final corner, out of the session, and that will go into more with Dom Smith, because you'll see the stricken car in a moment on that right-hand side. There it is, Baza in the wall, the right front folded up over the chassis, or was it the left front, not too sure, but he's going out of qualifying, and with one Alpine in second and the other in sixth, that's a big dent for their constructors' hopes.
It is, but Jacko's on a lap right now, just going to come to the second sector, and he's actually down on his lap. So this is unbelievable for the top two in the championship at the moment. Can't get into a rhythm around here and can't get a decent lap, unless, of course, Jacko has a very, very solid final sector.
It's absolutely astonishing, Dan. We find ourselves in a situation here where the two most likely to win the championship are the two slowest of the five. And it's Theo Hickman, third in the championship, Chris Johnson, who's fifth in the championship, and Magic Poop Cannon, who is... Jacko's out of that, could be in the wall! He is in the wall! But he somehow keeps it with all four corners of the car still intact. And that is very fortunate, because that could have been his championship dreams disappearing right there.
Yeah, you just got to be so careful at that corner. So careful, it can easily catch you out. And again, that was another driver on an in-lap going for a spin.
Blair Grills, he's invalidated the lap. He's started one, but invalidated it. The only man out there on a competitive lap is Red Bull Kim. So let's see him come round the final corner. The Danish Viking, he loves it in Abu Dhabi. He's been a few times, and he's 10th quickest with a 1:39.5. If there's anyone you want to ask about Abu Dhabi and how to get around this circuit, it's Red Bull Kim. He's been around it more than anyone in real life.
Well, he is going to get, I think, probably one more lap in, and so will everybody else then, as they all start to come out now for these final runs. I think he's at the front.
Wet Lemons.
Is it Wet Lemons at the front? It is, yeah, and Wet Lemons is, in fact, Wet Lemons is already on his lap. Let's see if he can go flat out through this corner where everybody keeps dropping it.
Planted.
Through there, yeah, looks good. First sector, and he's up slightly, and he's purple.
17.3, Wet Lemons raising the bar here in Abu Dhabi, and now he is beginning to show some pace. Are we in a situation, Dan, where someone that's not in the championship fight could throw a spanner into the works of the championship battle?
Yeah, it's looking likely, isn't it? Because he's certainly got the pace for it at Wet Lemons, and he is going to get himself amongst the action, isn't he? I think in this title side, of course, he's just fighting for the victory, isn't he? He doesn't necessarily, he's perfectly entitled to fight against championship contenders. He is fighting for a TGP win. As he see the second sector, will he be even quicker? He's actually lost a bit of time there in the second sector.
Magic Poop Cannon, first sector, 17.3 as well. Purple from Magic Poop Cannon. So we need to keep an eye on him.
Invalidated.
Wet Lemons invalidates then, so we'll move to Magic Poop Cannon. That's where the focus needs to be. Wheelnut before that, though, did a 73 through the first sector as well, but he was a fraction slower than what he did last time. He's still in contention, though. How's the middle sector looking for Wheelnut? Here he comes, 1/10 up on his previous best through there, so that's pretty solid. Teammate behind him is looking very, very strong. So let's keep an eye then on Wheelnut first, then we'll go to Magic Poop Cannon. In fact, we'll keep an eye on Magic Poop Cannon's middle sector time in a moment, but here comes Wheelnut then, sweeping through the right-hander past the Marina and now breaking hard into this tricky right-hander. So easy to run wide, but Wheelnut keeps it all under control and then heads underneath the hotel. How is Magic Poop Cannon doing?
He's 5/10 up, Poop Cannon. 5 tenths, and Wheelnut nearly in the wall.
Wheelnut very nearly in the wall, but we'll stick with him now. See how he gets on as he comes up to the final corner. Wheelnut then needs to help his teammate out massively here. Runs wide, goes for the line, stays. Fourth quickest. Now we move to Poop Cannon then as we reach the business end of qualifying. This is it then, underneath the hotel, back into the other side of the marina, and then past the paddock. Can he deliver at the end of qualifying? Winner last time out, invalidates for the penultimate turn when he was going for pole position. Disaster.
Oh, well, does he have enough fuel in the car to go again? I think he has. The fuel light doesn't seem to be flashing, so I think he will get one more lap in, but he was definitely, I mean, he was 5/10 up, as I said, so he was improving big time.
Theo Hickman's just gone purple through the first sector as well, so big improvement coming from the Williams driver. Remember, his brother winning the championship in TGP1 last night, going for the Hickman double, and what a week of celebrations it will be for them if they can get back-to-back titles in successive nights and in the top two in TGP1 and 2. Chris Johnson starts a flying lap. Oh, he's a little bit wide, but keeps it on the island. What's the first sector looking like? It shouldn't be that good. It isn't that good. A 17.5. Wet Lemons is absolutely flying out there. He's 2/10 up on his previous best and is threatening for pole position here. He's going to be the next man over the line. We need to keep an eye on the McLaren driver. Wet Lemons then looking to throw a spanner into the works. Stick a lemon in the fruit bowl. What can he do? Round the final couple of corners comes Wet Lemons. Can he go and wash them all away in the final corner? Wet Lemons for the line. Is it pole? It is a 35.8. He's beaten all the championship contenders. Now we go to Theo Hickman, who's also matching him through the middle sector.
Yeah, it's looking good for Theo. We think he was 2.5 up, so if it stays like this, it will be pole. So we've got to be so careful through this final sector as Wheelnuts invalidates this lap. So is Poop Cannon.
Here we go then, Theo Hickman up towards the final corner, a 35.8, that is the target, and he wants to take pole position back again, the checkered flag is out, and he takes the pole, a 1:35.6, has he just made it, 2 successive pole positions in a row, it looks like it, Dom Smith can only go 6th quickest, the championship leader, in all sorts of bother here. The man in second in the championship, also in bother. Jacko needs a big show round the final corner, up to the line. He goes 4th quickest and salvages something respectable from the session. But the big story is championship leader Dom Smith, only 7th in qualifying. Theo Hickman, back-to-back poles. He's P1 Dan.
Wow. So if the result was to stay like this, if Dom was to finish in 7th place, it'd be 8 points. Obviously 25 points for Hickman. I think it would give Hickman the title, I think I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying.
Wow. Oh, this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible stuff. As we now have Theo Hickman chasing a title. As I said a moment ago, his brother Jack Hickman won TGP1 last night, and he's been a very quick driver down the years, and he's been teaching his younger brothers how to race and race quickly, and it's rubbing off on them, isn't it, Dan?
It certainly is, but what a time for Chris Johnson as well to have a really good qualifying. He struggles for qualifying usually, but I think it's got probably one of his best quality results of the season, that 3rd place, so crucial for him in his still championship hopes that he still has for himself, and of course also vital for the constructors.
Absolutely incredible. Theo Hickman takes pole position by 1.5 tenths over Wet Lemons, who's not in the championship picture. If he stays second, it gives Theo Hickman a brilliant opportunity to try and win this championship. He needs that. Chris Johnson, who's behind Theo Hickman in the championship, is 3rd. That's also brilliant news for Theo Hickman. And he is 8 points. 8 points behind Jacko. With Jacko 4th, he would overhaul him. He would undoubtedly overhaul Dom Smith, who's only 7th. So what a chance for Theo Hickman. Daniel P. Wheelnut is 5th. He's also not in the picture. Magic Poop Cannon is 6th. 7th is Dom. Blair Grills is 8th with Baza 9th. Red Bull Kim in the top 10. Decisive. Then it's Kia. And then Stereogram in what has been a perfect qualifying for the neutral in this championship battle. Dan, I've asked you, and every time I've asked you, you've said Jacko. Where are you going now? Has it changed?
I mean, Dom's got a comfortable lead. Well, it's comfortable, 8 points, but he's also right down the field. But Hickman looks quick, so I mean, I don't know. I'm tempted to actually say, no, it looks like Theo might do it.
Well, I want to hear from everyone in the comments section. There's a good few of you watching tonight. Who are you going for? Who do you think will win the championship tonight? Is it going to be Dom Smith, the championship leader, who has an 8-point lead over Jacko in second? Will it be Theo Hickman, who has 11 points back on Magic Poop Cannon, who will find out then. 5 drivers still in the fight for the championship here in Abu Dhabi. Who will steal it in the final race of the season as the 5 lights go out and we are go. Theo Hickman needs a good start, doesn't get it. Wet Lemon sweeps through into the lead, and there's the spanner in the works of the championship. He's gone and overtaken every single one of them. Wet Lemons snatches a lead with Theo Hickman in second. Incredible stuff, Dan.
Stunning start by Wet Lemons and chopped across. Schumacher chopped and got the lead of the race. So Dom has made up 2 positions. He's had a traditionally good start. He's into 5th. So solid start for Dom. He's a bit of damage limitation immediately for him.
Yeah, immediately with it, and moves himself into championship winning position. That is crucial for Dom Swift if he can stay there. But Theo Hickman knows if he can get back into the lead of this Grand Prix, he gives himself a fighting chance. Even if he does get back through, I think he would win the championship. So he needs to get Wet Lemons again. Jacko knows he needs to keep Dom Swift behind as they all make their way down at the end of the long back straight and through that chicane. It is still Wet Lemons in the lead, but Theo Hickman knows he needs to get back in front and disappear up the road. Wet Lemons proving to be a nightmare to deal with here tonight. He does not have a position or a say in the championship in terms of himself, but he can affect it for everyone behind.
Well, we've got the championship contenders from 2nd to 6th place, but it's the Wet Lemons who's actually in the lead right now. Then the 5 championship contenders. Hickman's still so close to Wet Lemons. Chris Johnson also very close. Top 3 looks like they're slowly pulling away.
Well, I've seen many great championship battles in TGP2. I've seen many great races in TGP2, but this eclipses it all here in Abu Dhabi tonight. All the championship contenders together in a line. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Absolutely incredible. The 5 of them in a line, all behind Wet Lemons, who's holding them all up. It's like Hamilton all the way back in 2016, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. As Jacko pulling out there, maybe we think about going to move on Chris Johnson, but this is it. This is the first proper opportunity here. Who's going to be brave to go flat out through this corner?
Oh, Theo Hickman's brave. He's very brave. He's all over the back of Wet Lemons. Is he close enough for the move? Not quite. Wet Lemons holds on for now, but Theo Hickman is looking very, very racy behind him and is fancying a move very, very soon. He needs to make that now. He's very, very tight. You'll get a good exit out of the corner. Wet Lemons, though, propelled himself off of there and is looking very strong as they all fan out down that back straight. Wet Lemons feels the need to defend. Theo Hickman is gaining, and that Mercedes engine in the back of that Williams is looking very strong, but not strong enough to overhaul the other Mercedes engine in the back of Wet Lemons' car. As Poop Cannon
on Dom.
It's been a move in the championship battle, and that is key. Magic Poop Cannon eliminates Dom Swift back down to 6th place, and that is not good news. And now Baza, who really is motivated because of his teammate Jacko in the title fight, might want to get involved as well.
And Hickman was so close to Wet Lemons there as well, but still couldn't make it move. And Poop Cannon's gone off. Poop Cannon off on the run-off area. Will anybody get past him? Dom passes him back.
Yeah, Dom back through then, so that's crucial news for him. Dom back ahead of Magic Poop Cannon. Wow, what a race. What tension we have here in the desert night of Abu Dhabi.
Oh, it's incredible, isn't it? As Wet Lemons, struggling a little bit through the final sector. Hickman closes in slightly, and DRS will be enabled on this next lap, of course.
It sure will, so let's keep an eye on it as they go through the final couple of corners. So Dom Smith, 2 seconds off the back of Jacko then. He's just doing what he needs to do at the minute, but he knows if Theo Hickman gets into the lead, he's in big trouble. Big trouble. So at the minute, 5th place and 2 seconds behind is a pretty precarious position to be in if you're Dom Smith.
Very, very much so, yeah, as he's just got to sort of make sure he doesn't let Poop Cannon go through. Got a yellow flag out to Shepard spun it, but Hickman will not be hoping for the safety car at this stage because he's going to have a run on Wet Lemons here.
If Theo Hickman wins the race, Dom Smith needs to be 3rd. 4th will not do it for him. So 5th and 2 seconds off 4th is an absolute travesty. It's a disaster for the championship leader who's led it for so long. Is this finally the proof in the pudding that you need to win races to win a championship, Dan?
It may well be, as Jacko side by side with Chris Johnson into 3rd, and Poop Cannon on Dom.
And Poop Cannon on Dom as well, so that's 2 big moves there in the championship fight. But Jacko and Chris are fighting further. Looks like Chris Johnson is going to come back at Jacko, and he is going to come back at him. He's going to go right round the outside. Is he going to be close enough to make the move? As they go into the braking zone, Chris Johnson gets it done and is back ahead. Poop Cannon stays ahead of Dom Smith. Wow, this is crazy.
It's some brilliant stuff, isn't it? As Wheelock gets past Blue Grills for 8th place, they're battling as well right now. So Hickman 2nd, Dom in 6th place.
Someone get me a calculator. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous stuff here. We need Einstein. This is absolutely unbelievable. Dom Smith then back down to 6th. And I'm just trying to figure out, if Jackal got himself up to third, what would that do for the championship? If he got ahead of Chris Johnson, he would then only lose 3 to Hickman, and they would be level on points. So if Jackal got ahead of Hickman, they would be level on points with Dom Swift 1 point further back.
Hickman's got the lead.
He's got the lead into turn 1.
Well,
they missed it on the camera, but Theo Hickman has got the lead. Forget Jackal moving into third now. That's irrelevant. Theo Hickman is where he needs to be to win this championship.
I think Wet Lemons let him through, you know. Because, I mean, like I said, it did happen very suddenly. Wet Lemons was just backed off going into turn 1.
Well then, what an incredible development. We haven't seen things like this since Schumacher let Vettel through back at Brazil 2012. But here we are. Is that a gift from Wet Lemons, or is he just doing a tactical game to come straight back at Theo Hickman? Because look at him gaining down the straight. He's going to go back down the inside, is he? Almost diving up the inside was Wet Lemons. This must be nerve-shredding stuff for all of the championship protagonists, and they must be praying behind that Wet Lemons is not handing this to Theo on a plate, and it doesn't look like he is. He's coming straight back at him here. Wet Lemons down the inside, back ahead of Theo Hickman, and the championship flip-flops again. And Jackal and Chris Johnson. Here he goes, down the inside. Chris Johnson defends and holds on. Oh, this is changing corner by corner. The championship picture is literally shifting moment by moment here.
It's amazing stuff, isn't it? So Theo on 247 points right now. Dom would be on 245 if they stay second and sixth.
Absolutely unbelievable. So Theo
and Jackal will be on 240. So it would give the championship to Hickman at this stage.
So Hickman still gets it at this stage. Okay, so no wait, I'm not sure about that. No wait, oh sorry, what's the points for Dom if he's sixth?
If Dom finishes in sixth place, he gets 9 points. So it'll be on 245.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with the point systems. We should just remind everyone that the point system does not follow the Formula One official point system. Dan, can you just recap to everyone what the system is?
Well, we have the Jose point system, so the top 5 is still the same, 25, 18, 15, 12, 10. But then it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It just all goes down by 1 point from 5th place onwards.
Okay, thank you for that information, Dan. We appreciate that. That just keeps everyone on the same page, as Jackal is now all over the back of Chris Johnson once again, and he's going to go breezing past him here down the straight, and that is easy as you like. Jackal up into third place as Theo Hickman gains again on the back of Wet Lemons.
It's incredible stuff, this, isn't it? So 3 extra points then for Jackal if he finishes third. That put him on 243. So it would still be the championship for Hickman at this stage. Can he solidify it even more by making a move on Wet Lemons?
He's going to try and go around the outside and just put a little bit of concrete and cement through that championship battle, and that is a championship winning move round the outside from Theo Hickman. Brave as you like from the youngster, and he's made it work on Wet Lemons with a scintillating move. And if that's the move that wins the championship, then I'm all for it, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. Move worthy of any championship win. Brilliant stuff around the outside there. You don't often see a move like that around the outside at that corner. Dom is still struggling with their poop cannon, and he's actually got Bazza gaining on him. Bazza's on the medium tyres, by the way. He cashed out the session, didn't he, in quali? And he's actually on the medium tyres right now, and he is right on Dom.
A long way to go in this championship fight, but things are looking good as Magic, Poop Cannon and Dom are battling, and through has gone... Poop Cannon pits then. So he's rolling the dice. Magic Poop Cannon needs something major to happen for him, and he's coming into the pits and is fitting a set of the medium compound tyre. He's going for a major undercut, and he needs something to work. He needs to do something different, because right now he's not in championship winning position. In fact, he's nowhere near championship winning position.
Yeah, you're right. As we almost enter halfway stage of the race, then Wet Lemons will have DRS here with 6/10 as Poop Cannon. Yeah, it's just losing the position to Kaya there, who's now in 8th. Kind of very solid 8th place. But anyway, Wet Lemons with DRS.
Wet Lemons with the DRS, Theo Hickman weaving left and right, but there's nothing he can do. He's powerless. Wet Lemons comes back again and sweeps back down the inside and regains the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But crucially, Theo Hickman with the cutback on the exit of the corner. Wet Lemons is out of shape. He's wide, but still holds on to the lead. Theo Hickman now has the DRS, has a little squirt of his DRS to pull him alongside. And is he going to breeze past this time? Slightly less spectacular than the previous lap, but he's got back through again, and that's all that matters to him.
And Chris Johnson gets back past Jacko as well. So Chris now in 3rd place, Jacko in 4th. Of course, also vital for the constructors as well right now. Blake Hill's down in 7th. And, Baz is off! Baz is out!
Oh, that could bring on a safety car. Bazza in the barrier and out of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Yellow flags are waving. Will there be a safety car? That could be key to this race if there is. No sign of it yet.
just going round towards the pit entry here, and I think we probably would have it deployed by now, would you say, if it was one? So it looks like we're not going to have one.
Gamble from Wet Lemons, he's coming in. Is it?
So
yeah, I'm not sure if it's a gamble or they were coming in that lap anyway, but it would make sense with yellow flags waving. And there's the safety car, right on cue. Is that going to help them or hinder them? I think it might help them. They're in the pit lane. A brand new front wing for Wet Lemons, by the way. Jackal in there too, and what a time to deploy the safety car just as they were coming into the pit lane. Dom Smith is in too. Jackal, new set of medium tyres. Dom Smith, new set of medium tyres, and away they go.
Well, the safety car being deployed so late means that luckily for Theo Hickman, he's not had to queue behind it. So he might get away with this.
Yeah, if it was deployed a little bit earlier and he'd gone past the final corner, he would have been in trouble, wouldn't he? But he's gone away with it, and problem is solved for those guys. They will be able to pit and should rejoin in front, but that would have been a nervy couple of moments for them.
Unbelievable tension, isn't it? And but they'll pass it out then, and of course that's huge implications for the constructors at this stage. Jacko is still third. Chris Johnson needs to pit, and will he stay out ahead of Jacko once the pit stop's being made under safety car? You'd imagine he probably will. So it's looking good for Alpine all of a sudden.
Just a point to be made here that we're forgetting. If Theo Hickman was to finish second behind Wet Lemons, which is a genuine possibility, Dan, and Jacko was third, Hickman and Jacko, I believe, would be level on points. So that would go to countback, wouldn't it?
Well, Hickman's got the fastest lap right now, so...
Oh, yes, of course.
You've got the extra point for the fastest lap as well, of course.
Wow. I mean, are we going to be in a situation where the fastest lap could decide a world championship? I really genuinely think we might be. Well, let's just bring that up. It's very rare I bring the fastest lap data up on the telemetry, but we're going to do it. There, it's there. 38.8.
Here comes the pit stops.
And there's the pit stop then from Hickman, and he's 38.8. Is only rivaled by Wet Lemons. Could you imagine Wet Lemons lost him the championship by stealing the fastest lap? I mean, could you imagine even if one of the teammates of the other drivers, teammates pitted and took the fastest lap outside the points?
It would be astonishing, wouldn't it? As here comes out the pit lane and Hickman, and I think he is going to quite comfortably keep his lead. He is indeed, and Chris Johnson will remain in second.
And that is a disaster if your name's Wet Lemons, and a disaster if your name's Jacko, really, because Chris Johnson is now up into second position, and that.
Well, did you?
Because Wet Lemons should be second.
Yeah, Wet Lemons changes from wing. Did you say?
Oh, of course, that's right. He did change it. Yeah, he did. So that explains that one.
I wonder why Wet Lemons did that, because I don't see any moments of making contact. So
there must have been damage of some sort, because he wouldn't have changed it otherwise, would they?
Well, yeah, exactly. But I mean, surely that shows he must have quite a lot of pace, considering if he's had a damaged front wing for however long, and he's managed to maintain a fight with Hickman for the lead. So interesting stuff that, but of course that has allowed Jacko to jump Wet Lemons.
So the big question now, Dan, is, and I think it's important we do this just in case that Theo does lose the fastest lap and finishes second with Jacko third. Who's won more races? I think that is quite an important factor if that was to...
Who's won more races between Theo and Jacko?
Yes.
It's absolutely going to be Theo. I'm pretty sure about that one.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Theo has won 4, so Theo would still win the championship on countback if he lost the fastest lap, and Jacko was third with him second. So I've got to be honest, things are looking strong for Theo Hickman at the minute, aren't they?
They are indeed. I think they're looking very, very strong. It all depends on. It all depends really. Well, I suppose penalties could also be an important factor, and also what can Dom do at this restart? Has he got the pace to make a few moves?
Well, Dan, I've got the fastest lap data up, 140.1. That suggests he doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Theo Hickman 38.8. That's 1.3 seconds slower than what Theo Hickman's managed. So, he is kind of on a similar pace to Chris and Jacko, albeit 3 or 4 tenths slower than them. But that's recoverable. That's retrievable with a bit of consistent lap times and just digging in and finding a bit more. So if he can get ahead and up into third position with Theo Hickman winning, as long as Theo Hickman doesn't have the fastest lap, Dom can still win this championship. Third place can do it for him, but only if Theo Hickman doesn't have the fastest lap.
But I mean, maybe this will all come down to penalties if drivers pick up penalties at the end. But the safety car staying out again for another lap. Hopefully, we have more of a reliable safety car restart this time around.
Here's a situation, by the way. So this is a really interesting one. Theo Hickman leading the race, right? I think we can agree that Wet Lemons does have the pace to get ahead of Chris and Jackal, right?
Seems like it.
So Theo wins from Wet Lemons, and Dom gets third, which is possible, I'd say. They'd be level on points if Theo had the fastest lap.
Yeah, he would.
Which would mean that
would be on 251, wouldn't he?
Which would mean that Theo would win the championship on countback because he's won races. Dom hasn't won any. Could you imagine Dom asked Indecisive to pit and do a fastest lap, and the other Aston Martin to steal the championship away? I mean, that is the fine margins we are down at here in this championship fight. That's where we are now. It's that crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that is entirely possible. Yeah, they will both be on 251 points. And obviously that would be reduced to 250 for Theo Hickman if Mackie was set the fastest lap.
We could genuinely have a situation where all the drivers in the championship picture have crossed the line, and we could be waiting for Indecisive half a minute up the road, crossing the line to decide who wins the championship. That is how wild this is.
Oh, this is fantastic.
There's so many permutations. 4 laps to go.
To play for.
4 laps to go. Safety car in this lap. Let's take stock, everyone. We have got 5 drivers within 16 points in the championship fight. The man who's 11 points back in third leads this race and is currently on course for a world championship. That is your situation. The man in fifth, Dom Smith, who leads the championship and has led the majority of it in the closing stages, has not won a race yet, and he's going to need to do something special to win the championship without winning a race. If he can finish second, he can do that and guarantee it, but that looks like an uphill task from here.
It's going to have to be something quite magical, isn't it? Just very, very quickly, Hickman has not had a single one in this race. Chris Johnson's had 1, Jacko's had 0, and Dom has had 0 as well.
So it's all looking pretty levelled out on that front. It doesn't look like penalties will be a factor, which is what we like to see, Dan, isn't it? As Theo Hickman is going to drop the throttle any moment now. If you're watching at home, buckle up your seatbelts. And no, you're not at Ferrari World on the world's fastest roller coaster. You're just sitting watching this engrossing Grand Prix in this climax, this thrilling season, as we cross the line with 4 laps to go in the season. We've been round 5 continents, 22 different nations for this World Championship. We still don't know. We still can't separate 5 drivers to win a championship. We've got just a few miles left. Who is going to take the title? Theo Hickman is in position at the moment, Dan.
So, really comfortable restart for them all, and Wet Lemon's looking very racy, and I think he wants to get past Jacko ASAP. He's right going to be on him here, and it takes a tighter line through the hairpin to try and get a good exit, and I think he might have a bit of a run, you know.
Well, this is a big moment in the race and the championship. Wet Lemons then makes the move on Jacko. He breezes past Jacko, and into the braking zone they go. It looks like Wet Lemons has got it done. Is Jacko going to try a do or die? No, he's not. Poop cannon on Dom. This is crucial as well. Dom going backwards. His championship hopes are fading. Magic Poop cannon up into 5th place. Dom Smith going the wrong way at the restart.
Looking very good, isn't it, for Hickman at the moment, as Wheelness alongside Blake Grills as well, which is quite important for the constructors. But Hickman half a second ahead of Chris Johnson. He's just got to keep his head. He's just got to keep going, and he will win the title.
He will win the title if he stays where he is. Dom Smith needs to be second. That does not look very likely at the minute. Things are looking good for Theo Hickman, the 13-year-old. Brother of Jack Hickman, who won the championship last night in TGP1. Wild celebrations yesterday. There was parties in the Hickman household. Not for Theo though. He had to wait and focus on TGP2. Could you imagine the uproar in the Hickman household tonight if he could win the World Championship here and make it a double? At the minute, he's on course to do so. As Indecisive retires and any hopes of a fastest lap, and we've got a safety car. Oh, the drama.
Oh, that adds to the tension, doesn't it? He's going to have to do one more safety car restart if he wants to win this title. But certainly, yeah, that rules out any possibility of Indecisive pitting for the fastest lap, because he's lost it at that sausage curve, the penultimate corner. And, well, I mean, I think if I was Theo right now, I'd be sort of inside I'd be like, okay, well, I know I'm going to keep the lead for the next like lap and a half or whatever, but
regroup. That's what he's going to
have to try and nail a restart for one final time, aren't you?
Pressure on young shoulders here, but Theo Hickman at the minute has got it all under control. He's not buckled once this evening. He's been very impressive. Nailed the lap in qualifying in Abu Dhabi, nailed the lap in qualifying last time out as well in Imola, and was only beaten by a faster strategy because of the safety car from Magic Pupcan. He's been on it tonight and he's looking good for the championship. He's been excellent. Is he going to do it?
Well, we'll find out in just a moment. We'll have to be given a drive-through for speeding, so that'll promote Blair Grills on the position. I have to say, I cannot see a situation now which will give the constructors to Alfa Romeo at this stage. Very much looks like that's going to go to Alpine, although, and now that I've said that, probably something crazy will now happen, but yeah, at least Chris Johnson may well be able to pick up that title along with Blair Grills.
TGP is wild, Dan. Would it be wild to suggest that anyone might come in at the bottom of the championship pile to go on to softs? I don't think they will. You know, they're not doing so. I was just thinking, if you're looking bad for the championship, would it be worth a gamble? But none of them have done it.
Well, Wheelnut's coming in, but I wonder if he's done that thinking he might be able to save one of his drive-throughs, which is to save his drive-through. But if it's not, of course, he can't save a drive-through under the safety car. We had a similar situation yesterday with Court, who didn't realise that, and we may well have just experienced something similar there with Wheelnut, because he's still very much going to have to save a drive-through in this race. In fact, I think he's got 2 drive-throughs he needs to save.
Yeah, well, yeah, if he wants to go to McDonald's and pick up my McDonald's on the way, feel free, because he's doing plenty of drive-throughs, but it's not going to work out for Wheelnut. He should just focus on stealing that fastest lap point, I think. That's what he should do. But I don't think it's going to be a factor if things stay the way they are. But there's a lot of pressure on Theo Hickman here. When will we restart? Do you think we might restart at the end of this lap, Dan, or do you think we'll be waiting for one more lap after that, for one final lap?
Well, I mean, the field are almost all bunched up. Well, I suppose Kaya is still coming around the hairpin now, so maybe that might extend it by another lap, because we find out now, don't we, pretty much at the end of this straight, at the second sector, if it's coming in or not. Or is it going to be 2 lap sprint finish or just a 1 lap? We're going to find out.
Oh! Well, that's something Theo Hickman did not want to see. He's going to have to do 2 full racing laps in defensive mode and under pressure. Can he deliver? Can he do it? Tell you what, Dan, we could be in a situation where we're really struggling to figure out who's champion if Theo Hickman was to drop from that first position. But at the minute, he's looking good. He's got a man that's behind him in the championship in second. He's got a man that's not even in the championship fight in third. Jacko is in fourth, and he knows that second is not going to be enough for him. The man that can stop Theo Hickman winning this is Magic Pupcan, is Dom Smith, and he's all the way back in sixth. This is looking so strong for Theo Hickman unless he drops it in the wall. He can afford to drop a position here, but only one.
He can. Yeah, but literally, I mean, really only one. As you say, it's a 7-point gap between first and second, and it looks like he's gone for it.
Here we go then, 2 laps of racing left in this championship. He's got a good launch. He's looking pretty strong as Theo Hickman. And as he comes round the final corner, he's got a half-second lead as they cross the line. 2 laps to go, and we lose there. Jacko from the championship battle. We're down to 4 runners in the fight. He's been spun and into the wall and out of the championship fight. So that's 1 less for Theo Hickman to worry about. But Wet Lemons is all over Chris Johnson, and he's threatening a move pretty soon.
So Dom up to 5th then for the time being. I think Hickman's really got to keep the lead here, hasn't he? He's got to.
He really does. He really does. Chris Johnson, though, in between Theo and Wet Lemons. I think Wet Lemons is the bigger threat to Theo Hickman. But Chris Johnson, he can still win the championship himself, and he knows he needs to get ahead of Theo Hickman because he's ahead of him in the championship. He has to win the race, Chris Johnson. So if Chris Johnson was to win, could he win the championship? I don't think so, because Dom is still 5th. He would still be a point behind, agonisingly for Chris Johnson.
It wouldn't be agonising, yes. So if Hickman was to lose the lead, I think he would go to 244 points. Dom would be in 5th and would be on 246.
Well, I tell you what, Chris Johnson can still win the championship if he passes Theo Hickman now and sets the fastest lap. That would do it for him. It's Blair Grylls and M-Shep battle, and it's 6th place for Blair Grylls. So can Chris Johnson pass Theo Hickman with the DRS and do the fastest lap? That's what he's got to do now.
Well, you remember last season when Chris Johnson lost the title at the last corner in Silverstone?
Can he win it
up at the very, very end and win it?
Well, that would be some story if he could do that. So let's just make sure that we're absolutely right. There's a 16-point gap, isn't there, between Dom and Chris Johnson?
Yeah.
So it would be 15 points if he won the race, 16 if he got the fastest lap. So that would be key. But my issue is for him, he's not close enough to Theo Hickman. He ain't going to do it. He's not quick enough to do it. Down the start finish straight, Dom's down the inside. He's into 3rd place. That's absolutely astonishing. But Theo Hickman still has the fastest lap. I'm sure he does. That's the key. Where's Glock? I don't know where to look. Unbelievable. Theo Hickman still has the fastest lap, and that is the key. Dom Smith needs a fastest lap on the final lap, or he's not going to win the championship. Unbelievable.
If it stays like this, Dom will be on 251 points. Hickman would also be on 251, but Dom would win the title. Sorry, Hickman would win the title in terms of race victories.
And here comes Magic Poop Cannon.
Dom's got to get fastest lap.
And here comes Magic Poop Cannon. He's on the attack. He's going for the move down the inside, is he? He can't get through. It's looking good with half a lap to go for Theo Hickman. What about the fastest lap? He needs to keep nailing the laps as Magic Poop Cannon gains on Dom Smith. Dom Smith knows he needs to defend this, but he also knows that Hickman needs to lose the fastest lap. Down towards the final couple of corners they go. Magic Poop Cannon round the outside. Dom gives him the squeeze, but he's done it. And that is a massive moment for the Williams team.
Is that the moment that decides it? Hickman's just got to drive us to the line now.
He should be able to do it. And here he comes then. The young 13-year-old with all the pressure on his shoulders has dealt with it brilliantly here in Abu Dhabi tonight. The fireworks are about to go off. They've been going off in the circuit all evening. Theo Hickman, with just 2 corners to go, is going to be champion, we think. We'll wait till they all cross the line though. Theo Hickman wins the race. Does he win the title? Dom's ahead of Poop Cannon. There was carnage in the final corner. Dom will finish 3rd. But is he the fastest lap? That's what we need to look for. Hickman's still the fastest lap.
I'm just wondering, wheel nuts on those fresh mediums. I don't know if he's on a fastest lap attempt.
Let's see if he is. If he is, he could hand the title to Dom Smith. This is absolutely astonishing. 1 corner to go. Wheel nut to the line. He misses out. And Theo Hickman wins the championship because Wheel nut can't go 2 times quicker than what he did. Absolutely incredible stuff on Countback. On Countback. The closest championship we've ever seen decided in TGP history. On Countback, Theo Hickman has won the championship. An absolutely astonishing result. Dom Smith's inability to win a race this season has caught up with him, and Theo Hickman, by virtue of winning more races than Dom, is the champion. What an incredible finish to that championship, Dan, as the champagne is sprayed.
Wow, it literally came down to the last car to cross the line, and as you say, Wheelnut was, he set a 1:38.1 on that last lap, his fastest lap of the race, but not the fastest lap of the race overall. That 1:37.9 did it for Theo Hickman. That is amazing.
What an incredible development. Well, I've said this so many times, you can't script TGP2, and that's why. That is why. We said it, Dan. We said it during the safety car period. This could come down to a driver trying to set a fastest lap at the end, and it literally did. Everyone crossed the line. All the championship contenders had crossed the finish line. It was a random driver, wheel nut at the back, who pitted to serve a drive-through and change tyres, that almost snatched it away. Look at that there on the right-hand side. A 1:38.165. Theo Hickman, 1:37.9. That fastest lap has won him the title on Countback, Dan. That is astonishing.
Unbelievable. That is unbelievable. It was the 10th lap of the race that he set that lap, Hickman. So it was the safety car restart, wasn't it? The first safety car restart. He obviously got the slingshot and managed to keep the lead. And on that lap, he set that fastest lap, and that turned into an incredibly important lap, possibly the most important lap of his life.
Dan, just to give you,
got him the title.
Just to give you an idea of the drama, I've never stood up in commentary when league racing. I've never done it before. I've only ever stood up when commentating the football. But I'm telling you right now, I rose out my seat for that man crossing the line to see if he was going to snatch the fastest lap. I'm still standing up. I'm pacing around the room in disbelief at what has just taken place. Theo Hickman has stolen the championship at the final race on countback. What an incredible development. What an incredible story. And this is without doubt. I know Chris Johnson lost the title at the final corner last season. This is even more dramatic. Even more dramatic. Everyone had crossed the line that could compete for the title. Would you agree, Dan?
Yeah, I totally agree. This is easily the most dramatic conclusion to a TGP title ever, without a doubt.
Well, we went into this tonight with 6 men in contention. We went into the final race with 5 in contention. 16 covered them. 8-point lead Dom had over the other 4 who were separated by 8. He knew a second place would seal him the title and mean that he could win the championship without winning a race. But in the end, it wasn't enough, because he didn't finish second, he finished third. And Theo Hickman won the race, and with that, and the fastest lap, snatched the title from under his nose. And Dom will be gutted, because he knows how important that record would have been. A record which we agreed in qualifying, Dan. And that is why you don't stand up and commentate.
Sorry, I thought I disconnected there. Are you still?
I'm still here. I just stood up when I was walking around, unplugged the mic by accident.
Oh,
but there you go.
I disconnected.
No, you didn't. Don't worry. But there you go. That's it. It came back to haunt him, Dan, hasn't it?
It did indeed. Yeah. I'm still interested to know what happened at the end as well with Pukan and Dom, because Pukan crashed. So I don't know if they come together. I think we're going to see some celebratory donuts here just before we go, or at least the drivers who are in the mood for celebratory donuts. But something happened between Dom and Pukan at the very, very end, which allowed Dom to get into third at the end, and then obviously we have Wheeler coming through with the fastest lap. And did you notice, by the way, he was going for the fastest lap, and so he didn't pit to save the drive-throughs at the end, so he actually had a 46-second time penalty, or something I've ever seen before, at the very end as well. But Hickman prevailed, and as you say, it's the two. We saw Jack win yesterday, TGP1, and his brother wins today.
That is incredible. So here we go then, the drivers out on the track. There is Theo Hickman then, the man that's won the championship. And is he in the mood for donuts? Let's see. No sign of them just yet, but I'm sure there'll be donuts in a moment's time. But yeah, just for everyone tuning in, this is the drivers just signing off for the season with some donuts. And some of the drivers are actually down there doing that now. Chris Johnson. And who won the constructors? Who won the constructors?
Sure, it was Alpine. It would be an Alpine because Chris was second, wasn't he?
Yeah, so Alpine, Constructors Champions. So there is Chris Johnson. And where's Blair Grills? If we can try and get a shot of them doing some donuts. So Alpine are the Constructors Champions this season. What a victory for the Alpine team. But there is Theo Hickman, the Drivers' Champion, the 13-year-old winning the crown and snatching it at the final race. Theo Hickman, the Drivers' Champion here in TGP2 on countback, gets ahead of Dom Smith. There's Dom Smith, his rival, next to him on the track. And the two rivals meet, and with a sporting handshake of donuts. Incredible. But Theo Hickman is champion. Wow, Dan, what an incredible sight.
Just brilliant season. I think we're gonna have to, TGP is gonna have to do something pretty special to top this next season. I think it's January the 12th, I want to say. I do have the date written down here somewhere. But when the next season will begin for TGP2. But whatever happens, it's going to have to do some to beat this one, I think.
And there they are then, the two. There's Theo Hickman then, the Drivers' Champion here in TGP2. What a stunning way to win it on countback. Brilliant. And there they are, the two together. The two that contested for that championship right to the final race. Theo Hickman Oh, actually, that was actually indecisive. But there you go. There's Dom Smith, finishing second and runner-up, and he'll be gutted about that, I'm sure. But wow, and actually Theo Hickman's been disqualified now. But incredible, what an incredible result in this championship fight. So Theo Hickman wins it on countback ahead of Dom Smith. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it, Dan. I mean, in fact, I don't. Never mind. I don't think. I know I haven't seen anything like it.
Never. It was really something special, wasn't it? And just very, very quickly before we go, the fewest points to win a title in TGP2 was Maya Quimby in season 5 with 263 points, but of course Hickman has just won it with 251.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a surprise given that Dom Smith was tied with him without a race victory. So no surprise that is a record-breaking result. And interestingly, I don't think the CR point system would have been in play back then either, so it's even more incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. It almost certainly would not have been in play back then. So
it makes it even more wild that he was able to win the championship with so few points, because of course more points are available. They go down to 15th place, so...
And more races as well now.
And more races, yeah, very good point as well, Dan. So it's actually astonishing that someone's won a championship with 251 points. With 22 races. I mean, I'm going to just average that out for everyone watching right now with a little calculation and tell you what that averages out at a race. So 251 points divided by 22 races is 11.4 points. So you could win a championship with a mixture of 4th and 5th places this season. You didn't need to finish on the podium to win this championship.
Incredible.
I mean, 22 4th places, right?
Yeah,
was 264 points. Yeah. That would have won you the championship by a comfortable 13 points. I mean, without being on the podium. Imagine that. The only trophy you had in your cabinet was the Drivers' Championship. It's astonishing, isn't it, Dan?
I think, it is incredible. I think Wet Lemons wins the Donut Award, by the way.
Well, let's pick him up then.
It's a cool donuts. I mean, he's not right now. He's just been crashing the wall, but he has been doing some good ones.
Well, there they are then. It's like the Fernando Alonso departure of a few years ago. There they are, the three of them, all doing donuts on the start-finish straight. And that's a really good camera shot, that. I think Dom will be pleased with that one. He might use that one in the edit, I think. It's a really good one. As the drivers all do their donuts on the start-finish line. But Dan, I think that's a good time for us to wrap up on what's been an incredible season. Theo Hickman, champion. And what a final couple of rounds it was to do it. We had wet conditions, didn't we, at Imola in qualifying to really test the drivers. We had a great race there and an equally dramatic and tense finale here in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, and we even had the safety car playing games in Imola as well, didn't we? So it was all happening. But yeah, just incredible stuff. And really, when Hickman set that quick lap, that pole lap in Imola in the wet conditions, considering how much he struggled in the wet prior in the season, I mean, that should have really been the moment where we should have known really that he was on form and he was absolutely ready to do it tonight.
Yeah, well, we should have known, but we never know in TGP. It really is the gift that keeps on giving. So congratulations to Theo Hickman. He is your TGP2 Season 29 World Champion, and a well-deserved champion as well. As Dan said, the fewest points to ever win a championship, and it's the tightest and greatest season in TGP2 history. We hope that Season 30 can match it. It's going to have to go some, but in TGP2 you can never be sure. We want to thank all the drivers throughout the whole season. We want to thank all the viewers throughout the whole season, particularly tonight where there was so much interest in the championship battle. I want to give a thanks to Dan the Man as well for joining me for these final couple of weeks. It has been an absolute pleasure, and we will see you again next season for Season 30. All that's left to say is congratulations to Theo Hickman. Goodbye.